Once the river's unyielding king, jaws snapping at foes and dreams alike, the crocodile now sips from a chalice laced with betrayal, as his scales dull under the weight of whispers and warning cheers. Emerson Mnangagwa's throne trembles, poisoned not by venom, but by the rising shadow of a general and a nation's fading faith. Will his desperate lunge for global favor save his 2030 dreams, or sink them in the Zambezi's depths? What is happening in the ruling party of ZANU-PF? Faction wars, rumors and speculation of splits in the ruling party of ZANU-PF. Should VP Chiwenga and President Emerson Mnangagwa split, what would happen next? What are the likely scenarios that may happen in the nation of Zimbabwe? Ladies and gentlemen, scenario A. If they split, called rivalry. This one is the most likely. They quietly build their own camps inside ZANU-PF. Tensions simmer, but no open confrontation until the next Congress or election. Each tries to control the party's succession rules. What is happening right about now? This is scenario A. I'm going to give 3 scenarios. Scenario B. Chiwenga openly challenges Mnangagwa, possibly claiming he has overstayed or become unconstitutional. Mnangagwa tries to fire or sideline him. This sparks widespread purges, resignations, and could destabilize the party of ZANU-PF. As that is happening, what would happen in the nation of Zimbabwe, ladies and gentlemen? Now, scenario number 3. This one is the worst case scenario. Military crisis. Chiwenga uses military network to pressure or remove Mnangagwa. This could involve a soft coup or show of force. All these scenarios, what is the power base? Mnangagwa versus Chiwenga. Before we go there, we see Zimbabwe President Emerson Mnangagwa making a United Nations Security Council bid. Now, this is posted on the UN's official website, Zimbabwe to the United Nations, 228 4th Street, New York, Security Council bid 2027 to 2028. We see the URL here, UN.international. Zimbabwe's bid for a non-permanent seat in the Security Council receives a major boost. We see the UN post this And they write, Zimbabwe's efforts to secure a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, however, received a significant boost, with Russia pledging its full support. Russian ambassador to Zimbabwe, Nikolai Kraslinkov, met with President Emerson Mnangagwa at the State House in a rally to deliver the message from Russian President Vladimir Putin, reaffirming Russia's backing for Zimbabwe's candidacy in the 2017-2028 term. So we see this happened today, and already the United Nations official website have posted it. What does this mean? Now they continue. Speaking after the meeting, Ambassador emphasized the importance of strengthening cooperation between Zimbabwe and Russia within the UN framework, stating that both nations share a vision for a fairer and more balanced global order. Then they post a picture of President Emerson Mnangagwa and Vladimir Putin there. Then write, why Zimbabwe's bid for UN Security Council matters. Zimbabwe's bid for a non-permanent seat presents a significant opportunity for the country to elevate its influence on the global stage. So we're seeing positive and promising remarks coming from them. Now, back to the big story. What would happen should the crocodile and the general split?
Zvakakumbirwa nemadzimai ngezvekuti baba tionere ivo vari kuzvipatara. Kuzvipatara hakusi kuita mishonga. Saka musha weZANU-PF baba, matipa henyu kuti madzimai sungai musha weZANU-PF usimbe. Ndiri kukukumbirai kuti relax. Musha wenyu baba uri mumaoko akanaka. Regai kutambudzika nesu nekuti muno umu mune machairwoman ekuparty district pasi apo. Tine dambudziko nebhengi redu risiri kunyatso bata zvinonyanya kunzwika, kune complain kumadzimai. Bhengi redu ipori iri kunotaurwa kunzi gore rino bhengi rakapiwa 150 million zig, asi up to now wakawana 15 million chete. Apa taakuenda kukompera kwegore.
Now we're seeing the Women's League trying to maximize while they still can. Now, what could happen should Mnangagwa and Chiwenga split? The party could split into two main factions, Team Mnangagwa and Team Chiwenga. This would weaken the party unity and make it harder for ZANU-PF to manage the state smoothly. Party structures, provincial leaders, youth and women's leagues might choose sides, leading to purges, suspensions, and loyalty tests. Military security alignment. Chiwenga still has strong military loyalty networks from his time as army commander. If he breaks from Mnangagwa, parts of the military and intelligence could shift loyalty towards him. Mnangagwa might preemptively reshuffle top military posts to weaken Chiwenga's base. If tensions get sharp, this could risk a standoff or a coup attempt. And on the government functioning, cabinet could become paralyzed if ministers are split between two men. Policy implementation might stall as factions compete for control of resources, patronage networks, and state media. Then, the future of elections. Chiwenga might try to challenge Mnangagwa for party leadership or push Mnangagwa to step down ahead of 2028. If they both insist on running, it could split ZANU-PF votes or force early elections or a party congress showdown. And the opposition dynamics. Opposition parties might gain control room to grow if ZANU-PF is distracted by the internal war. They could form temporal alliances with one faction to weaken the other. And international reactions. Regional and international actors, the SADC, the AU, South Africa, China, would worry about instability. Some might quietly support one side to protect their interests. Foreign investors could pull back further due to risk of unrest or a coup. Then risk of violence. If both men mobilize their loyalists, it could spill into violent clashes, especially if the military or war veterans divide. In the worst scenario, it could trigger a short internal conflict or military intervention. Now, the bottom line, a Mnangagwa-Chiwenga split would dramatically increase political instability. It could fracture ZANU-PF, weaken government control, and open space for opposition and unrest. The biggest wild card is how much of the military stays neutral. Their loyalty will decide if this stays political or becomes military. Big up to Abigail Kanjanda says, do we have any new political parties in Zimbabwe? In Zimbabwe, new political parties. It's harder to gain the support of the people. We're seeing people trying to use Chamisa's name. Anyways, now, Mnangagwa versus Chiwenga, the power base. From core identity role, Mnangagwa is a civilian, politician, long-time ZANU-PF strategist and loyalist and patronage-based. Chiwenga, a military man, ex-commander of defense forces and the coup architect. Political machinery. Mnangagwa controls the party's bureaucracy, ZANU-PF Politburo, provincial chairpersons, youth women's league through patronage and appointments, dominates state media and electoral bodies like ZEC. Chiwenga relies on military-aligned politicians and ex-security elites embedded in government, strong influence in war veteran associations and retired generals. Now, security and military. Mnangagwa has built parallel loyal networks by reshuffling tech security positions, promoting younger officers loyal to him, leans on central intelligence organizations and presidential guard. Deep historical now Chiwenga has deep historical ties to ZANU-PF, especially older generals, seen as having latent military backing if conflict escalates. Now, economic networks, international ties, and regional ethnic base. For Mnangagwa, connected to businesses, elites, mining companies, cartels, new economic patrons created through state tenders and legal deals, land deals, backed by some foreign investors seeking stability, diplomatic ties with China, Russia, and quiet outreach to Western states seeking reform, viewed as a pragmatic face of ZANU-PF, now regional ethnic base, mainly Midlands, Mashonaland and the network. His public image seen as cunning political oppressor but old and overstaying. Now Chiwenga, pegged by the military-owned companies, some diamond mining interests and military pension funds, seen as closer to hardline nationalist business figures, strong China military ties, training and arms history, seen by some regional militaries, e.g. SADC peers, as a strong option if Zimbabwe destabilizes. Primarily Mashonaland and military diaspora. Public image seen as a disciplined military figure, feared but not charismatic, as attested with voters. What this means: Mnangagwa controls the formal machinery, party structures, legal tools, appointments, and electoral bodies. Chiwenga controls informal coercive power, military loyalty networks, and war veteran influence. If they split, Mnangagwa would likely use a legal and institutional system to remove or isolate Chiwenga. Chiwenga could mobilize the threat of force or leverage military networks to pressure. Most elites would hesitate to choose sides early. They would wait to see which man controls the army before committing. What is your opinion on this? Leave your answer in the comment section below. That was it for now. Dr. Clarence, TV7 Live.